What is going on, everyone? I'm back with another video. So today, as you probably tell by the title, is going to be a Hinderer XM18. Now, this is, I believe, is the production version, generation 4. I don't actually know very much about Hinderers because this is the first time I ever held one. I was lucky enough to pick this off of George Wingfield's last sale video. It was kind of funny because, lately I've been talking about getting into more custom knives and, more like ornate and gentleman type of folders and stuff. And it seems like I've been kind of taking a step back with purchasing the Hinderer, the XM18 because, it's more of a tactical folder and obviously not a gentleman's folder and more of a workhorse. But I couldn't pass it up because I've always wanted to hold one of these in my hand and see what the hype is really all about. And plus, when you talk about knife collecting, obviously most people talk about collecting either you get the XM, you get the Striders, and you get the Chris Reeves Sabenza, and as my buddy Jeff calls it, the holy trinity of knives here. But realistically, also, I have to thank George because I believe I got a bang up deal on this knife, at least judging by what the average market price and markup for one of these are. I think I still got a very good deal. And so now I finally got in the hand. I thought I'd give you some thoughts on what I would think about this knife. So I laid before us a few knives here, and I'm sorry I got the tripod in such a weird angle that it's kind of hard for me to work with here. But so this came with the custom scales made by Tough Thumbs, and I also have the original XM scale as well in black. I decided to leave this one on because the blue looks so much better. This one featured, I think someone anodized the filler tab and also the pocket clip as well. One side note, the pocket clip is actually very cool, but when it came to me, I don't know if this is the way most XMs come, but this tab right here, it was almost like a 45-degree angle up. So whenever I grip on the knife, it would just dig right into the palm of my hand. So what I did is I wrapped it up in some heavy-duty cloth, and I took a pair of pliers to it, and I bent it down just a tiny bit, just to give it that, so now that when I grip onto it, it doesn't dig into my hand so much. But again, I don't really have any experience with the XM, so this being my first one. And right off the bat, I have to say that the overall ergos are just extremely comfortable. I can't really explain it. And and I'm directly comparing it to like maybe one of the Rick Hinderer inspired designs, of course designed by Rick Hinderer, the ZT-0560 here. And while this is comfortable, and I love the length of it, and even though the XM18 is a slightly smaller knife, as you can see there, actually maybe I set it down here, maybe you can see it better, it's a slightly smaller knife. The XM just has such a, it fills out the hand first of all because it's a little bit thicker. It's more closer to the 0550 in terms of thickness. Oh God, I love that lock-up sound. Anyways, it's more towards the thickness of the 0550, but the ergonomics are just beyond comparison here because the XM feels just extremely comfortable in the hand here. But in terms of like deployment, it is a very, very smooth knife. I mean, extremely smooth. Maybe not Sabenza smooth, but just extremely smooth. Now, this was, I'm assuming, used from the last owner, and I think as far as I'm aware, I'm a third owner of this knife. And it does, I did take it apart to clean it because when I took it apart, I noticed that there was actually literally no oil in here at all. No lubrication whatsoever. It's just completely dried up. So it didn't really swing out very well. It's kind of hard doing it with my right hand because I put pressure on the locking tab here. See, with my left hand, when there's no pressure on the lock tab, it swings out just perfectly fine. This, I got to give it like a little extra oomph to get it to swing out, but it can be done. The only thing is it's not going to be as smooth as obviously as anything with bearings on it, such as the 560, where like a little light tug on the flipper will just swing it out, and definitely not as quick as my bluefin folder from Pohan. This thing just flies out. I finally got this thing broken in, guys. I mean, finally the locking tab does not stick anymore, and it just, it's killer. It just flies straight out and very fast, as you can see there. But yeah, it definitely does not flip as well as good as anything with bearings on it, obviously. But it also doesn't flip as well as my Kershaw Volt. Now this thing just also, same as the Hinderer, does not ride on bearings at all. But this thing, it's just I don't understand it. It's just it's a lot better. Obviously, you press on that tab, you know, you press straight down. You can rock back on it. So you rock back on it, it'll still fire. You press straight down, it still fires though. So I don't think it doesn't feel like when Mr. Hinderer designed this knife that he was designed to flip at all. It was just mainly more for a finger guard. And a finger guard is very well done, because, you know, even with the Volt, after you flip it out, while there is a bit of a guard here, it's not like extremely. This thing just hooks your finger in basically. This finger guard does nothing to hook your finger in. I mean, if you were to really stab into something a little bit too hard, your finger probably would just slip right off there. This one, there's almost like no chance of it. It goes right back. You know, it goes backwards towards you, so it's really nice. But again, in terms of smoothness, and you can also see that the Volt, the centering's dead on, and this pivot is tightened down, and it still flies right out. And again, no bearings on the Volt here. But the Hinderer, while it does fly straight out, occasionally it does need a little bit of a help, which means, you know, a wrist flick or whatnot. And you can also use the thumb studs, as I just did there. But still, a very awesome knife. And of course, the other knife that everybody wants to gain access to, of course, are the Striders. Got my 3 Striders here just for show. But all in all, I have to say this is a very nice knife. Now, is it worth the price tag that's being sold out in the market? I can go either way on it. Seriously, I mean, for something of this material, and I'm sure this has been covered by many videos out there. Jim Skelton's video comes to my mind right off the bat, and I know he talked about the XMs on his on one of his videos. I mean, for that price range, you can. I mean, let me check it out. This Pohan Lu's bluefin flipper. This thing is actually less expensive than the inflated market price of my XM. All right. Now, not to say that I didn't get a good deal on it. Again, I'm just going by the average market price of what you can get one of these for, and I still think I got a steal of a deal on this XM here. But let's say if I was maybe like a, you know, firefighter, EMT, you know, military, whatnot, law enforcement, and I go straight to them. I heard that these things are probably these things I believe are like under $400 or right around the $400 mark for them. So the rest of us are paying, you know, from $600 on up for one of these XMs. I mean, the cheapest I've seen one of these go for lately was an XM-18 on Arizona Custom Knives for $595, which is under $600, which is great, but it had like a couple rust marks on it, so they marked it down. So I mean, that's like the cheapest I've seen, you know, and I'm sure that knife still works well, even with the rust spots. But for the most average, you know, users, the production versions are hovering right around the probably the 625 on up to 700, and of course you're buying from like any reputable sites, they're going to be around the 700 mark probably. But to be honest with you, I mean, for that price range, you're going to get yourself a really nice custom-made knife. Now, I have 2 on order right now from 2 different makers, and when they come in, I mean, while they are a lot more expensive than this, it's just the price for materials. I mean, for the price I'm paying for those knives, I'm getting a lot better materials. Well, I really can't say better materials. What's the word I'm looking for? More exotic materials. More exotic materials, you know, fully hand-done, you know, the whole 9 yards, you know, nothing CNC, no computers used to make those kind of knives. Again, I'll be showing those knives off later on when I receive them. But this being a production version, I mean, it is a bit pricey, I admit. Is it worth it? Again, I can go either way, but again, I can't deny that it is a rather nice knife. And finally, to hold it in the hand, finally, it just seems kind of ordinary. Let's put it that way. There's really nothing completely special about the XM-18 other than the iconic design. You know, of course, once you flip one of these bad boys out, any person in the knife community, collectors, will look at this like, ha, you know, this is an XM, because it's obviously instantly recognizable. You know, overall iconic shape with a sponto tip. Now, of course, with the newer ones, or some of the newer generations have the slicer grinds on them. But while the designs are overall beautiful, for the money, you can get a lot of other types of different knives, and you know, I won't say they're better or worse, but you can get you have many options in that price range. Let me just leave it at that. So anyways, I decided to throw up this quick video. Well, not really quick anymore, but I decided to throw up this quick video of my overall impressions and you know, some quick thoughts on the Hinderer XM18 being my very first one. Again, I am impressed with it, but you know what? for the money, you could do other. You can do other. You can buy other knives and you'll get better deals on something else. With maybe even slightly better materials. Who knows, right? So, all right. Well, there you have it. If you got any questions or comments, please leave it below. Aside from that, take care, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.